Good morning, students. Students, as we have discussed till now in chapter 2nd about the courage of all the voyagers, you have seen that though they faced drastic situation during their voyage, but they did not lose hope. They were optimistic, and that's why they were able to find the island. Here, finally, they reached at the island, and the captain was delighted. Even all the crew members as well as children, they were delighted. Now see page number 18. We anchored offshore for the night, and the next morning all 28 inhabitants of the island cheered as they helped us ashore. Ashore means an area especially near the sea or river, or when somebody help you to be there for some time. We anchored offshore. Anchored offshore here means when you let an anchor down in order to prevent a ship or boat from moving. It was very small island. Only 28 people were living there, and they provide all sort of comfort to captain and his members. With land under my feet, my thoughts were full of Larry and Herbie. Captain says, with land under my feet. He started thinking of whom? Larry and Herbie. Both of them, they were the crewmen, and they did not lose hope. They helped him a lot. Cheerful and optimistic under the direst stress. Both of them, they were cheerful, they were delighted, they were full of hope, they did not lose hope, they were pumping like madmen, even though the situation was too pathetic, but they did not lose hope. And of Mary, who stayed at the wheel for all those crucial hours. And then he started thinking of his wife, Mary. Most of all, I thought of a 7-year-old girl who did not want us to worry about a head injury, which subsequently took 6 minor operations to remove a recurring blood clot between skin and skull. They were not the minor injury. She got 6 minor operations because the clotting was there. To remove that clotting, almost 6 minor operations were done. And then he started thinking of a 6-year-old boy who was not afraid to die. So now the captain, he started thinking of everyone. And at last he thought of his son, Jonathan. He was 6 years old. And he boasted the courage of his father by saying that, Daddy, we are not afraid of dying if we all are together. So finally, they got that island, and they were quite delighted because all were safe and sound. Now students, move further. We shall discuss question answers. List the steps taken by the captain. Okay, now we are to discuss the point which are taken by the captain to protect the ship when rough weather began. Though student, we can get this on page number 14 also. I would like that you must try to find out the answer from the text, though we are going to discuss. In order to protect the ship from the rough weather, the captain ordered the boat to be slowed down. Remember, he ordered the crewmen that boat to be slowed down. Then what they did, they dropped the storm jib and lashed a heavy mooring rope in a loop across the stern. Then they double lashed everything. Then they went through their life raft drill, attached lifelines, donned oilskin jackets, life jackets, and then waited for what was to follow. So what they did means, when they observed, yes, now rough weather will begin, so everything was lashed. Storm jib was dropped to slow down the boat, and they wear their life jackets. To check the flooding of the water in the ship. Now, which were the steps taken by the captain? So, to check the flooding of the boat, captain managed to stretch canvas and secure waterproof hatch covers across the gaping holes. Remember, as I told you, that the starboard side was totally damaged. Okay, so what he did, he took a hammer, some screws, canvas, he went there and he fixed the gaping holes, right? Now next is, describe the mental condition of the voyagers on 4th and 5th January. So first we can say that in the beginning their journey was quite pleasant, and then suddenly they started encountering worse condition as the weather condition continued to deteriorate, and they were pumping like madmen. 36 hours of continuous pumping left them physically and mentally exhausted. Okay, and there was fear of death in their minds. Moreover, you know it very well that none of the equipment or the instrument was working properly, so they were unable to locate the island. We can say that they were facing very drastic situations. But in this also, they did not lose hope, and even the children, they exhibited the exemplary courage. Okay. Now question number 3. Describe the shifts in the narration of the events as indicated in the 3 sections of the text. Give a suitable title to each section. So first you have to describe when their journey was quite pleasant. Okay, up to Christmas celebration east of Cape Town means their journey was quite pleasant, no problem. And then the desperate situation when they faced storm, strong gales, high waves, when their boat was totally damaged, when their electric pump short circuited. Okay, and then the third phase when they got the island. So you have to describe all these 3 phases. Next, what difference did you notice between the reaction of the adults and the children when they faced with danger? Remember student, once you had seen that even the captain also, he accepted his approaching death. Okay, Mary was also shouting. Means we can say that somewhere the adults, they were in fear little bit, but the children, they were bold, they were brave enough, and they did not lose hope. Even they gave hope to their parents also. They boosted their morale, they motivated them, and they made them more confident and optimistic. Even the Larry and Herbie, they were also optimistic as they were continuously pumping. Right? Next, how does this story suggest that optimism helps to endure the direct stress? See, dear students, in this life, everybody is to face challenges, stress, drastic situation, direct stress, you can say. But if we are optimistic, if we keep the hope for the best, only then we can overcome. If we shall lose the hope, then we cannot overcome, then definitely we cannot win. Okay, as the captain, he also became optimistic. Larry and Herbie, they were optimistic when they were pumping. So there was hope that yes, we can save the life of everyone, those who are in the ship, and that's why they were able. If they were not optimistic, they could not. What lesson do we learn from such hazardous experiences when we are face to face with death? Whatever the situation may be, we should not lose hope. and one must be confident enough. Yes, come what may, I can overcome it. Why do you think people undertake such adventurous expedition in spite of risk involved? Simply we can say, though before starting any of the voyage or the journey, the person who is going to do so is quite aware of the risk involved in that, but still he takes that risk because he is compelled by his adventurous nature. His nature compels him to do so, that's why he does. So dear students, our chapter 2 is over. Now what you are to do, you will write down the complete vocab, okay, whatever the word meanings you have been told during the chapter. Second thing, you will write down the short questions also, you will write down the textual question also, okay, and briefly you will write down about each and every character in the chapter. Fine. So thank you. Next we shall discuss next chapter or poem, whatever that will be in next video. Fine. Thank you. Have a good day.